Okay, good morning, everybody. We got a very interesting deck today. I spent basically all night last night working on this, or all evening. This is a 5-color deck that is trying to capitalize on the ability for Shadow Prophecy to provide a lot of card selection, as well as filling your graveyard very well to power out Emrakul the Promised End. We have seven different types in this deck. We're missing, I think, just tribal. We have land, artifacts with Mishra's Baubles, enchantments with Leyline Binding, Dress Down, 8 instants, 8 sorceries, 8 creatures, 4 planeswalkers, to try to make Emrakul, ideally 6 mana, but more often like 7 mana, to hardcast here. So there's a lot of like kind of metagamey ideas here too. Thank for Daisy with 16 months, appreciate ya. So when you compare this deck to like the traditional 5-color Omnath decks, this deck has a much better sideboard, where not only are you a 60 card deck instead of an 80 card deck and a 15 sideboard instead of a 14 card sideboard, but you also have 4 copies of Traverse the Ulvenwald to really efficiently grab cards like Kataki, Plague Engineer, Charmaw, Lavinia. And so in that ways, this deck becomes a lot better against Omnath's weakest matchups, like like Tron, like Living End, Cascade decks in general. However, I've also think that the idea is that also main decking 2 Emrakuls and sideboarding a third makes the 4-color Omnath matchup really good. Where I talk about this kind of idea a lot, that I think that the Omnath deck, the traditional Yorion Omnath deck, would actually be a better, more well-positioned strategy if they banned Yorion. Where right now you have to play Yorion in that build, otherwise you're just going to lose to the mirror. But if it was a 60 card version, your sideboard would be much stronger. You'd gain so many percentage points in those bad matchups, but you can't not play Yorion in those versions because you scoop the mirror. However, this version, because of Shadow Prophecy, gets to be more in on Emrakul. I know some lists play 1 Emrakul, some of the 80 card versions as a traverse target, but this list is like much more in on it. And I only played against 4-color last night, but it was like easy. It was like not close. Although my Emrakuls were really good. They're like 7 for 1s or something. They're definitely above average. And so you also get to maintain a lot of that kind of similar, like good against creature deck percentage points, and the deck is also like I think a lot cooler. So I had a lot of different drafts. Let's go over a couple of different drafts. This was I think the first draft of the deck. I was thinking that I wanted to play 4 Omnaths. Omnath's busted. I thought the curve was like a little high here, and I was trying to figure out how to fit some incarnations in the deck. I was thinking you didn't want to need to play Traverse necessarily either. And then draft 2 was like, I'm going to play 1 Solitude, 1 Fury, just as Traverse targets. I'm still going to play a lot of Omnaths, but then I ended up like really missing Expressive Iteration in this version. I didn't like how where Teferi sat on the curve with all these like 3 drops and stuff, and playing Iteration plus Fury, this definitely felt like the best version of the three lists that I tested. I picked up a trophy with my only league with this deck was a trophy. The deck was feeling much smoother than the other 3 versions, although of course there's a lot of different ways you can build the deck. There's a very flexible list. Okay, on the draw for the first match with a very slow hand. I might mulligan this with a draw. Bob, to get the 15 months. Let's mulligan this with a draw. Keep this one. Keep this one. Probably okay to put back Temple Garden. You mostly want to go like Mardu Triome into Breeding Pool. Those are your main 2 ways to get Delirium. I guess this hand could go like Steam Vents, Overgrown Tomb, Temple Garden, have 5 colors. Maybe I'll put back the Forest instead. Houndar with the 8 months, Not Exotic Lum with the 19. Again, Bob with the 15. Zalbat with the 9. Oh, dude. Thick for Days with the 16, and then Matchy with the 3. Thank you. Hardened Scales was actually the match I played at the end of my trophy last night. It was my last opponent. Oh, I think I'm going to get the Mardu Triumph here. Brad, thank you for the 6 months. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so I played against Hardened Scales last night. I did win. Hardened Scales is always a hard deck to play against, of course. Okay, think we're just going to main phase heat this, get pinged for 2, play Breeding Pool tapped, and our domain is online. Why double Emrakul? Yeah, okay, so that was something I probably should have mentioned. So without 2 Emrakuls, you don't have enough win conditions, is the idea. Especially against 4 color, like the first Emrakul is going to be a ton of value for you, but a lot of times it's going to get solituded, and then you're going to get like, get a 4 for 1 after that or something. But it's not going to be. You have I think you have too hard a time winning the game against 4 color and blue white without the second Emrakul. So just play the second Emrakul. It's also in this list just not a card you're like in any way unhappy to draw naturally. Okay, so we're gonna Leyline Binding this turn. I think I'm actually just gonna Binding the Ravager. It's so scary to let them untap with this, get the counters of the Nexus. Just they don't get to modular at all if I do this. If they have another Ravager and they get the Ozlith here, I don't think we're quite dead. Is Yorion bad here because it dilutes your draws? The idea behind no Yorion is a few things. 1, it makes your sideboard so much better. 2, your deck is infinity card advantage, or so much card advantage with 4 Shadow Prophecy, 4 Expressive Iteration, that you need that like flood insurance a little bit less. And you get to be like kind of the Omnath deck, although you're only playing 1 Omnath here, but you get to be the Omnath deck that's like much better against the Tron and Living End and the combo decks, because you have so much easier access to your sideboard counterspells, much easier access to like Traverse for Lavinia, much easier access to Obsidian Charmaw because you're a 60 card deck instead. And what's really exciting to me about this list is you get to do that while also being good against 4 color, which is a really, really hard dynamic to balance. Like to be both of those two things is like, I think, very unique. Okay, just gonna cast the Omnath here, and then Fury both of these 2, and then they're gonna modular onto the Inkmoth, which is actually kind of scary. But have you tried this list with Dress Down on the side for 2 Teferi, -1 Fury for a Solitude? I haven't tried exactly those changes. No, I do think you could make some changes to the list, obviously. I think the main deck dress downs are like largely here for Delirium enablers. I think that the first copy I would definitely play. Teferi, I was playing Teferi. I thought it was like a little awkward on the curve. Obviously, Teferi is like a pretty nasty card. Also, I will say your white card count for Solitude is low. It's really not that high. Okay, so they animate in response. This survives, but then the Zabaz dies. Oh yeah, they can modular out to the construct if they want to, but that's fine. I think I'd actually rather them do that than the Inkmoth Nexus. Oh no, they can't, because this dies and then state-based effects are checked. Okay, that's just on there. So we need to find Unholy Heat or Traverse for Boseiju for the Saga, or sorry, for the Nexus. Scales is so good. Yeah, but, yeah, I think your white card count for Solitude is low enough that I'm not interested in playing one as a Traverse target. It's like... Sorry, don't look at that yet. Or, I guess I already showed it. You have, like, 5 white cards. It's just, like, I think it's just too low. I mean, you could play one, but I think I'm not that interested. You would have 6 if you played one. Why did the other get Flash? Only Solitude needs it. Well, I mean, this is double strike. I guess Solitude has Flash and Lifelink, huh? Did you see the Worlds list were put live? I didn't know. What format is Worlds? Can you Fury the Inkmoth when they go modular? I could if I had another red card. I didn't have another red card. Is Scales underplay because it's so difficult? I think that's a big part of it. I played some Scales on stream. The deck is really good. Oh, they had Hangerback Walker Ravager? That's nuts. Oh, that's so nuts. Okay, I drew an Emrakul. Oh, we could actually Emrakul this turn if I find a fetch land and I get all 7 types of the graveyard, I think is exactly Emrakul. Okay, so I can put enchantment in the graveyard. Okay. Not gonna be quite good enough. So I think I'm taking Fetch Land Dress Down. And I could just dress down in my instep. And try to set up for Emrakul. So then I'll put Enchantment in the yard. 5 types. Still missing Planeswalker Sorcery. Skirtis, for the 14 months. And if I cantrip into a fetch land, we can Emrakul, and then use the Ravager to... advantage. I'm the villain every day, actually. If I end of turn dress down, actually, no, I don't think I'm not scared of them just like sacking the walker, I guess. Not just cast Fury as well. I can't play dress down in my instep and Fury as well. I think that we can draw either a Traverse or a Fetch Land in our next 2 draws to Emrakul, though. Yeah, in my play testing of this matchup last night, I did find Emrakul to, like, sack their board to be pretty good. Or, like, make them sack their board in response to the Emrakul. Not sure why my opponent is tanking so long. Yeah, this is game 1. I have 2 Emrakuls in the main deck. 2 Emrakuls in the main deck. And another Emrakul, the Promised End in the side. And then I also have an Aeon's Tord in the side for the mill matchup, but it's not really a castable card. Emrakul does fly, yeah. Flying, protection from instants, 13/13. It's pretty good. Yeah, I tried a bunch of different versions. This was definitely the one I liked the most. I think I'm getting a Stevens here. Then I'll leave red and white floating so I could draw Binding or Heat. Is one card for mill really worth having a sideboard? Yeah, like one card in the sideboard that you don't even have to draw. You don't even have to draw it, and it like turns the matchup from like 30-70 to like 60-40 or something like that. Yes, it's worth it. Like Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn against mill is so crazy because you don't even have to draw it for it to be nuts. It's like the most like unique sideboard card ever. Okay, there's our fetch land. If you do draw it, it's just dead. Yeah, just don't draw it. I don't know what to say. You can discard the hand size. They made a Saga token? I got Dressed Down in play. I understand the idea. I don't know if it's worth citing it. That's okay. You can disagree that it's worth citing it. Mill is also like, popular enough that like I'm interested in turning that horrible matchup into a not horrible matchup, but if you are not interested, nobody's making you. Okay, this Traverse is actually free to cast because it reduces the cost of the Emrakul. Do I just get another Emrakul? They get Soul of Windgrace. Boseiju. I think I get Boseiju. Just conceding. My opponent last night didn't concede. It was a very tricky game. Okay, so it's so funny I've experienced siding in this matchup already. I'm bringing in the Kataki, the Plague Engineer. I know I'm a villain. I'm playing Plague Engineer today. That definitely makes me a villain. But I was cutting my second Emrakul. So the idea is that you need 2 Emrakuls in the main to have enough win cons against 4-color. Although if you do so, your 4-color matchups are really good. But you're going to be siding out the second Emrakul a lot when you just don't need that density of win conditions. And then I think I was cutting 1 Shadow Prophecy and either 1 Iteration, 1 Traverse, but not 1 Traverse because we have all these. Definitely wanted 1 Charmaw. Yeah, I think what I did last night was just cut the 4th Iteration. Yeah, I know. After playing Elves Monday, Tuesday, convenient Plague Engineer on the side. I keep playing against all these tribal decks. What can I say? I'm not gonna. Only one Omnath and 5-color pile? Yeah, as a Traverse target. So, yeah, I know it's so weird to play 1. So, one thing I think you maybe should do in this list is cut the 4th Traverse for the second Omnath. That was something I was considering doing this morning, but I just wanted to play the trophy list as is. So this was my first draft. My first draft had 4 Omnaths, 4 Teferi. I didn't like how high this curve was. I didn't like how I didn't have any incarnations. My second draft had 1 of each Solitude Fury as traverse targets, still 4 Omnath, 4 Teferi. I dislike the loss of iteration here. And I really actually dislike Teferi a lot on the curve. And just playing Fury plus iteration keeps the curve super duper low. Like, look how low the curve is. It's crazy. While also having access to tutoring these up, you know. Yeah, Binding is nuts. Leyline Binding is a crazy card. Seems like you could really use an extra 20 slots. Yeah, you could obviously build this deck as an Omnath deck. Obviously, people probably have built things very similar to this as the Yorion deck. Always mix those two names up. But the idea is that this version gets to have a really good sideboard. It gets to be much, much better against like Living End and Tron post board than 4-color Omnath does. Because you have both Traverse and easier access to your naturally drawn sideboard cards too. While also you get to be a 60-card deck that's good against the Yorion decks because you're main decking the Emrakuls. That's kind of like the nerdy, you know, metagamey theory behind this list, and it definitely felt that way last night. I crushed 4-color last night. It was crazy. I Emrakul'd, they counterspelled. They had a Teferi in play. Another Teferi. I got to Legend roll, Prismatic Ending their own Teferi, Evoke Solitude. It was awesome. Fury is no Giganta. We're very close to Giganta though. But I do think this deck really wants to play Fury or Solitude, obviously. Which sucks. The one blemish on. A Yorion version of this deck is likely to crush the 4-color mirror anyways. Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. But is that the only matchup a Yorion version of this deck would get equity in? Would it only get equity in the mirror? Because this version is like much, much better against all of the Yorion decks' worst matchups, right? This deck is much, much better against Tron, Titan, or maybe not Titan specifically, but Tron for sure. Maybe actually worse against Titan with no Solitudes. Could play more dress downs from Titan. Skulkers 14 months. Thank you. Would I consider Endurance of Veil of Summer? I obviously consider those cards. I actually despise Veil of Summer, to be honest, in this archetype. This deck is like so good against like Murktide and 4-color and blue-white control usually, that I just find okay, we'll definitely keep this good scales. I usually find Veil of Summer to like just be waste of sideboard slots. What's my sideboard playing against Titan? So I was kind of thinking that because I've got 2 main deck dress downs, 2 main deck dress downs, 4 heat, 4 Leyline Binding, my Titan matchup was not so bad. I'm not sure my exact sideboard hit plan, however. Mountain, Swamp Forest, Island Plains, potentially. I think I'm just going to go ahead and heat this. I think they might Welding Jar. Cool. Happy with that. Morning Doom. Okay, so I think I'm going to go... They're going to activate Hangerback Walker, end of turn. Then I'm going to get a Plains, cast Dress Down, heat the Hangerback Walker, then Dress Down will be in play on their turn, which is just very annoying for Hammer Time to deal with. Why no Snow Basics? I mean, I guess I should be playing Snow Basics, you know. Listen, we don't have to have this conversation every time I'm playing a deck that could be playing Snow Basics and I'm just not playing it. If you could play Snow Basics in Modern, it is strictly better to play Snow Basics in Modern. I'm not doing it because I just didn't. But it's just always, that's always the answer, so you don't always have to have this convo. I think I actually let this Wrenn and Six go to the yard for Delirium. Stinks to not find a better spell, though. Next turn, I could potentially Traverse for Charmaw, kill Saga. We'll see what we draw. I might have to Traverse for, like, Soul of Windgrace or something. One Ballista. So I think I'm going to go Evoke Fury. 1 damage, 2 damage, pay for ward. Then Traverse for Charmaw, kill Saga. And then hope the top of my library is kind to me. I think it's a little too slow to be traversing for Boseiju here. Tad, thank you for the 19 months. Appreciate you. Oh no, Charmaw doesn't cost 2 mana. Oh, sorry, Charmaw costs 4. Wait, no, these separate colors. These separate colors. Right. It costs 2. Oh, they pinged me instead of letting the Ozolith happen. Thank you, Tab, for the 19 months. So I'm having to block here. Give me a chump block because of the Ozolith. And they have another Saga, so we are hoping to top deck well here and hope that they don't have like a Ballista as the last card. Good beats. I don't know what I can draw. Not even Boseiju, right? We have game 3 though. Get to be on the play for game 3. Die if I cast that. Okay, game 3 on the play. Click submit. Scales is real good. Scales is so underplayed. The mana modern seems to be too good, and they keep printing cards for playing 4 color. Yeah. I mean, the Triomes I think are a big part of that. I mean, I would say mana in modern has always been like mana in Magic maybe has always been better than people think. It's really just like not that hard to meet like any requirements you need to. It's like maybe a little bit slower, a little bit more painful, but that's fetch lands, baby. To be fair, Bloodmoon looks pretty rough. I played against... It's definitely not, you know, as good as the 80 card version, but I was able to Leyline Binding my way out of Bloodmoons yesterday. That's why we're playing 7 white fetches, so we can get our planes more easily against Bloodmoon. But that is, like, really your main out. You also have a Boseiju. Does Lotus Field seem well positioned since I'm playing against a lot of 4-color demanding creativity? I do think that is a good range for it, yeah. Why not all 3 Charmaw for the matchup because it only hits Saga? I mean, it hits other cards too, but it's like not always going to be just 2 mana. It can be a little slow as well. You kind of don't want to draw too early. You can play one more though, I guess. You can maybe play one more over Soul of Windgrace, although Soul was pretty good for me last night in this matchup. I stole opposing Urza Sagas. What are Scales bad matchups? Trying to remember. I used to play a bunch of it. I mean, I think the Yorion decks are not great matchups, but they're like I think they're close. They're kind of easy to play through if you're like really experienced in the matchup. Yeah, Mill is the worst one. Mill is the worst one. Yeah, Titan is bad too. Blue-white's close. I'd say blue-white. It kind of depends on how experienced the blue-white player is, to be honest, because I imagine a lot of blue-white players these days have like never played against Scales. Pioneer next week, we'll see. I know I said I was gonna play it this week. I just like haven't been as interested. I've still been like hammering out lists and stuff, but Pioneer gameplay for me has been pretty good in like smaller doses lately. Okay, let's keep this on the play. Is Boros or Jeskai feel better? Is it just preference? I'm not sure. Okay, I'll definitely keep that. I will say I've been winning more with the Boros one. Do I own my cards? I own paper cards. I use rental service for Magic Online. Although I'll also borrow some cards in paper, of course. I think we play the Wrenn. Don't need to Ozolith that or binding that. How does 15-mana Emrakul get cast? It doesn't. You're just bringing that card in against Mill. Do I like Legacy at all? At one point in my life, I was like a Legacy specialist. I even would describe myself. I played Legacy every single night, and I played it on the only Pro Tour you could play Legacy at. I played a lot of Miracles and ad nauseum, but I played everything. And for me personally, like I've become a lot less interested in Legacy because of the like all of the goofy cards that just enter the format. I think that it becomes a lot less interesting to me as a format because of all these commander cards that are not designed for Legacy entering Legacy. Is it insect? This is a construct, okay. Any chance we'll build some Yoran version? I don't know. There's always a chance. I've talked about why I'm not playing Yorion and kind of the ideas behind that, though, this morning. Okay, it's probably put the counters here, right? Alright, so it's got the Shadow Prophecy here. Ooh, Charmaw's really nice. Although if I Charmaw this next turn, I guess I could go Charmaw Evoke Fury. Okay, so Charmaw costs 3, so I can't kill this. So I'm just gonna go kill Hangerback Walker Zabaz, Ping a Thopter. Maybe is it ever better here to go Leyline? Do I need to Leyline Binding the Ozolith actually? Maybe I do. Maybe I need to go like Evoke Fury, Plague Engineer on Thopter, Leyline Binding the Ozolith. I feel like that's actually the better line. I know all formats take. What's your take on people saying Legacy is the most skill intensive? IDK about Legacy is insanely skill intensive, or at least when I used to play it, it was definitely more skill intensive than Modern ever was. Back in the day, where like a lot of your in most games in Modern, your first like 2 or 3 turns play themselves if you're like familiar with sequencing and familiar with your deck. In Legacy, like there is like some of the most like small, nuanced, skill intensive, minute decisions that you can make in the first 2 turns that if you can't pick up on them and if you make the smallest sequencing error, you'll just die. You'll just die if you like don't read the room correctly. In a way that I just like never really seen in Modern. And like and someone who is like a super expert with scales, someone who is like a very, very experienced scales player, it is like always so obvious that they are that compared to scales. Experienced Legacy player. It's always so experienced when you're playing against an experienced Legacy player compared to an inexperienced one. Okay, I think I wait on binding on the Ozolith. Yeah, otherwise they get another one. Just do it on their main phase, right? Did they really need to give Charmaw flying? I mean, it's a dragon. You want a dragon without flying? Oh yeah, so they might animate Inkmoth. They get another Zabaz. Zabaz. Uh-oh. Tomio's safekeeping. Okay, good beats, huh? Wow, what card. I trade Founding Third Path and Shredder Phoenix. I have it now. It's kind of on my list. I know I'm like a little bit prowessed out at the moment, though, I feel. I'm not dead, right? They're modulating here. I just have Death Touch. This doesn't have Trample. Okay, so I get to take 5 Infect, trade here if they attack. Actually, in pretty good shape. The Ozolith is going to be a big problem. But this is only creatures, right? Whenever a creature you control... Yeah, so they don't get the counters from me Charmawing the Nexus here. Wisdom, think of the 8 months. Wise of you to resubscribe. I haven't played tested the Phoenix update yet. I will at some point for sure. Ooh, another Ink Moth. So I actually just want these counters to stay on the Patchwork Automaton. I don't think I want to like Shadow Prophecy or Fury this and then just let them counters on the Ink Moth next turn and kill me. They conceded! Dude, I think they early conceded both games. Oh, also, I'm going to play the Modern Challenge tomorrow for a couple reasons, but one, there's no RCQs in my area, and two, I'm at least taking Monday off and maybe Wednesday, but we're working. Is it time to announce what I've announced I'm going to announce? What could the announcement be, huh? Yeah, I'll be streaming it tomorrow. Okay. I've announced this announcement all week. And it's time to finally announce that I, Aspiring Spike, lowly modern streamer, will be flying to Portland next Monday through Wednesday to collab with the professor himself, Tolarian Community College. I think I'm gonna shuffle the Wrenn actually. I might stream one day while I'm over there. But there's a good chance I just also won't. We'll see. It's just gonna depend on what the schedule looks like. And that was the mystery announcement this whole time. Amy the Amazonian is coming with me. She's just like the best Magic streamer there is, which is very exciting. Always wanted to collab with Amy. There's also one more mystery guest that's going to be joining us. Ooh. What am I putting keep? I guess, are they Murktide just like kept double Bauble? Maybe I'm supposed to upkeep Shadow Prophecy. Maybe nothing matters here. Okay. I'm gonna put them on Murktide. It's not Post Malone. I don't think I could keep it secret if it was Post Malone. Okay, so I'm probably gonna cut the Dress Downs against presumably Murktide and play. I think I want all 3 Flusterstorms. Oh, I also want less Fury, though. I think 2 Emrakul's fine. I could play the Chalices. Just Chalice in 1. Doesn't stop Flusterstorm. Stops 8 of my cards. Stops, like, 12 of theirs. It's kind of not great. Invasive Surgery against Iteration seems kind of fun. Let's do that. I'm really excited. Me and Esther have, like, not had any kind of, like, vacation that's just the 2 of us, and I guess it's still not really just the 2 of us, but so we went to Vegas last year. That was our only like vacation. We went to Vegas for the Channel Fireball event, and then we had all these weddings to go to, but I think all of our friends are married now, thankfully. Or almost all of them. No, that's not even true. Is a soul just one of Traverse target when we're flooded? It's a Traverse target when you need a threat. I've actually found that having Soul and Omnath in play at the same time is really... I didn't talk about this in the deck tech, I guess. But having Soul and Omnath in play at the same time is really good, where Soul is giving you landfall triggers for Omnath, and Omnath is giving you mana to activate Soul's triggers. So, like, the 2 cards actually play really well together. Okay, we're gonna keep this. It takes like our flight to Portland's like 4 or 5 hours, something like that. Have we talked about Channel not being in the shell? I don't think you want to turn on cards like Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push early in the shell. Not that that card would be bad though. You also want, also like I find that you don't want to play 1-mana threats in decks like this that are pretty interested in getting a Triumph on turn 1. So here I think I'm playing Triumph turn 1, and then I'm probably going to prioritize getting Planesforest so I can Binding a Blood Moon. Do people think consider it because they think I'm on Omnath Soup? Well, in a way I'm on Omnath Soup, but the soup is spicier than usual. Oh, we're playing against Breach. Okay, so Breach is not going to have Blood Moon. Definitely would have sideboarded differently. Kept the dress downs in for sure. Maybe. No, probably not Kataki, but... Good concession for our opponent. I'll play around Iteration, though. Let's go. Don't have Delirium, sadly. Got lucky. A few more lands that I might like. Stream Decker missing updated sideboard. Okay, I'll take a look. Yeah, I must have. I think I uploaded the wrong file now that you say that. Oh man, if only we had Delirium, huh? Yeah, Binding is just, it's so fucked up. Oh, Stream Decker. Okay, XL Spell Pierce, so they only just lowly anticipate from our opponent. Again, don't really need to fear Blood Moon here, I think. Spells? Spells? Any spells? It's a spell. Help us with Delirium. I'll shuffle away Basic Mountain here, although maybe I'll put it into, just plop it into play too. No, I think I was gonna tap Temple Garden. It's a spell. That's a spell. 5 cards in their hand. I think I probably don't want to Heat. I think I'd rather Ping or Fury this. Yeah, it's just Fury. Gonna keep thinning the library though. During another land here stinks. I think I have 11 total fetchables, which I'm kind of running low on. I have like I can get a Plains off this Heath though. Floating red for probably nothing, right? Maybe they have Bolt, I guess. Okay, so what's wrong with the sideboard? Oh, it is missing a card. I think it's missing the Lavinia. Okay, so when I was playing Lavinia over Teague, I decided. Well, you could play Teague too. And it's missing Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. Excuse me. Dashing Ragavan. Hitting me. Finding Leyline Binding, but unable to cast it here. Binding would have been really nice for me to be able to stop their combo, though. I mean, I think we've got a pretty straightforward turn here. Oh no, I should. Oh no, I can't Steam Vince to have either Flusterstorm or Heat Up. I should have played Steam Vince. I think I'm just gonna hold up the Heat. They don't have like too many more spells I'd be interested in countering here. We thought they were Murktide. They conceded really early. When you prefer Invasive Surgery over other one-man counters or sorceries, it's just especially prevalent. Yeah, it's like creativity being really popular in Modern right now is like the main reason why I'm interested in playing a bunch of one-mana sorceries or some one-mana sorceries. Or sorry, not one-mana sorceries. Ooh, brutal. Well, that makes me obviously wish I'd had Flusterstorm up instead. If I had had the Steam Vince up, this game is a lot better. Gonna bottom this Wrenn though. Yeah, it's creativity that is mostly making me like Invasive Surgery. Wasn't really expecting Aether Gust, I'll say. Okay. Let me attack. This is currently 10 mana. And we only have 7. I was saying it's Ragavan. It'll be 3 mystery cards after the draw. Good morning, Blaze. Yeah, Surgery also good against Cascade decks for sure. Got a 3-2 split at the moment. Okay, gonna heat the monkey. They discard a grinding station. I don't think that they would likely do that without another grinding station in hand. Emrakul becoming harder to cast, however. Let me let them attack with both, potentially. I think this is a I think I like this. I want to be able to, you know, race them with the Fury. Got a lot of good top decks. Got a lot of bad top decks, too. Oh, yeah, this cast the station off Breach. Yeah, you're right, sorry. Cantripping the Lantern, 3 cards in hand. So they're gonna know my top card. I draw another one. Okay, your turn. Definitely feel like they're just gonna cast Breach here. Game 3. Can sideboard correctly now, though, that we know that they are playing Breach. I think I am not really I'm gonna play some Flusterstorms. Not this many. You're gonna play the Lavinia. Chalice on 0, I think makes sense. I think I have 11 total fetchables. Emrakul is likely gonna be a game-winning card, but I probably don't need more than 2. No, I don't think Kataki is super good against them. I might play 1 Charmaw as an answer to Saga, though. I think I want more Furies, also. Yeah, you can be... I think I'm okay to naturally draw an Emrakul. I'm not... Maybe not super happy to draw 2, but I think that's going to keep me this many... Maybe I don't want this many Furies, actually. I should probably be cutting on Baubles if I'm bringing in the Chalice on 0s, actually. Makes sense. Let's mill these over too. I'm bringing the 3rd Emrakul against mostly 4-color Omnath, but there's a few other spots too, I think. I think this looks fine. Maybe I'll play a Charmaw over like the 2nd Bauble. Let's do that. Not sure. That seems okay. Alright, Flood into Screw, Mulligan. Good hand though, good hand. I usually want to be able to go Mardu Triumph into Breeding Pool, so let's put back the Stomping Ground. No big Emrakul for mill. They don't win by milling you, they win by casting Thassa's Oracle. Not a fan of Kavu? No, not really. Do you think Cottage Touch Rayman wants to squeeze in 3rd path? No, there's no room. You have to like warp the deck so much to play it that you just don't want to play it. But it's also on a Mold of 6. Alright, they got a turn 1 Ragavan. I got a turn 2 Wrenn and Six on the play. A tale as old as time. Yeah, tale as old as like a year and a half ago. I remember like right when Modern Horizons 2 came out though, Ragavan was actually like not that popular of a card for whatever reason. Or sorry, not Ragavan, Wrenn and Six. Wrenn and Six was like just didn't see that much play. It was kind of weird. I do think I'm gonna cast the Shadow Prophecy this turn. I think I'm just gonna main phase it also. Don't need to play super scared. Okay, let's take Heat Boseiju. And then we're gonna have instant Planeswalker land in the yard. It's definitely hoping to get Delirium there. It's okay that we don't though. Rakdos Scaminator. So I don't usually like marrying these two archetypes. Where like I feel like when you're playing Ragavan decks, you just need like your early game to be as efficient as possible. That being said, there is like a lot of overlapping synergy between Spyro, Fable, and the fact that you can just pitch Persist, Unmarked Grave, Archon to your Griefs. I do like that a lot. Okay, so you don't want to be playing 4 Undying Evil. You want to be playing Feign Death instead of Undying Evil, or like, you can play 1 Evil, you can't play 4. Because Undying Evil is a card that is bad in multiples. What are we doing here? Gonna wait on Omnath till next turn, probably, as you usually do. I think I kind of like Boseiju Urza Saga. They make a token. Then I go Leyline Binding on Shredder. And then I heat the token. Yeah, so you have to play you have to play the Feign Deaths. Oh, I would also be playing, I think, 4 Malak, something like 4 Malak Rebirth, like 2 or 3 Feign Deaths or something like that. This card just maxing, like letting you like cheat on your land counter is really nice. So I'd probably be on like 21 total lands with 4 Malaka Rebirth, 1 Undying Evil, 2 Feign Death. So I think you have to make like 2 cuts to facilitate that. So it's probably the Lilianas, and you just play 7 3-drops. Just 7 3-drops is a lot of 3-drops, right? I think you're probably cutting like 4th Blackleaf Cliffs or 8th Fetch Land. Might also play Push over Bolts, but it doesn't matter all that much, I guess. Okay, so we'll go Plains, Binding, just enact the plan, huh? Think we need to play Plains first? Why? They can't Spell Pierce Boseiju. Oh, but the response to them making the token. Right. That makes sense. Okay, I do think I want to fetch land more than Boseiju because of the Omnath in hand. Yeah, they could pierce the Binding. Good point. Don't play Abrade in your modern decks. Do not play Abrade in your modern decks. Abrade is not a good card. You can play Shattering Spree. You can play Hidetsugu Consumes All. You can play cards that are like actually good against the artifact decks. Don't register Abrade. I would be maybe interested in Pithing Needle in the sideboard for opposing Hearses, although I think you could also have like a transformative sideboard plan potentially, where you just cut the reanimator cards post board. I think that might be kind of fun. Don't think I could just build the whole transformative sideboard necessarily, but it would be something to look at, I think. Abrade is gas. Abrade is, I think, a lot worse than every other option, but you know, if you disagree, you can disagree. Maybe I'm supposed to actually get my Overgrown Tomb so I can cast Shadow Prophecy off of Iteration. So I do get Delirium off the Iteration. So next turn I'll have 4 card types. If I go fetch lands, I have 6, 10 mana. An Emrakul. So I'll go hand, bottom, exile, can't play. Just pass. Could I guess die to Land Breach, Grinding Station as like 3 of their 5 cards, but good beats, right? Abrade is dual usage, otherwise it sucks. I mean, listen, I understand that it's versatile. It's a versatile card. But both modes of Abrade are really mana inefficient. For sideboard cards in modern, they just need to be so much more powerful. Like Abrade seems to be like mostly for the Hammer Time matchup, or Affinity decks in general, Artifact decks in general. Hidetsugu Consumes All or Engineered Explosives are going to be so much more impactful. Shatterstorm is going to be so much more impactful. Shattering Spree. You don't like. Are you gonna? Maybe I guess you could bring it in against Murktide, and that answers the hearse. But I don't know how worried about that you are. Why would they Shredder before Iteration? Yeah, Braid is a good card in pre-image 2 Modern. I agree. Braid has not been good in Modern for a long time. In my opinion. In my humble opinion. Hope I counted correctly. Do I want to kill this first? I kind of want... No, I can just attack this into the Emrakul. I'm not going to count again, though. Wow, counted correctly. I guess I could have attacked first, too. I think we're just fine. So if they do have the combo in their hand, we win, and maybe that's why they conceded. I haven't got to take many Emrakul turns. People just keep conceding to it. I have now won my last 7 matches with a 75. We can keep this hand. We can traverse for second land for Wrenn on the play. But if I see a fetch land on top, I'll probably get like Misty Triome instead. Okay, so you do have a fetch land on top, so we can just plan on getting Misty Triome into Breeding Pool, which is your usual play pattern. Although, obviously, we could instead end up getting like Steven's Forest if we need to heat here. How's the pup today? She's good like every day. I don't know, the dog's been getting along really, really well. They play like all day together. There's no there's no arguments or anything, and Lucy is just the sweetest dog in the world. I think she's hanging out with Esther today for now. I'll steal her in a little bit. Okay, so we might be getting Spell Pierced. So I think one question I'm surprised we haven't really talked about yet is the... I'm only playing 1 Triome. I had more in some other drafts, but I ended up kind of feeling like the second Triome was just kind of like a bad draw a lot of time, and I was just kind of happy just playing 1 Triome into the Breeding Pool most of the time, and I have a Black Shock land too. Ooh, no Spell Pierce, awesome. And I think in like 80 card versions, it's like a lot easier to play more Triomes because you draw them less often. Why 2 main Emrakul? You don't have enough win conditions unless you main deck 2 Emrakuls. And I'm someone that like is not. I'm someone who usually like builds like control decks really light on win conditions. So if I'm telling you that should maybe hold like a little bit more weight than usual. Oh, bummer. Okay, so I think we just go main phase heats. We now have Delirium. So I could traverse for like Soul of Windgrace or hold up Dress Down for Dash Dragavan. Or Murktide counters. They're not super likely to Murktide here. I think I'm going to just traverse for Soul of Windgrace. If Ring came down with 2 loyalty to his bolt range, would still be heavily played. It would still be like a very good card in Modern, I think. I think that is exactly how it should have been. It should have had 1 less loyalty. Okay, so I'm not going to just slam the soul into the open mana when I have 2 instants up here. Where Murktide played Consider. They play Consider to fuel the Murktide. Murktide, as good as it is a card with deck building restrictions and requirements. Ooh, it's good. So, I mean, this Soul of Windgrace is not a likely card to resolve. However, getting in the yard would give us a creature, and that would be 6 types, and, then the Emrakul is very close to being cast. Although, I think with that logic, it's probably better to just hold up Dress Down, since Dress Down is going to give us 6 types as well, and has some utility on their turn, and doesn't just, like, play so face-up into their face-up counterspell. Yeah, I'm feeling really good about Windgrace. I said this a little bit. We haven't done this today, but Windgrace plus Omnath together are really nuts, where Windgrace triggers landfall for Omnath, and then Omnath gives you mana. Oh, no. I was not supposed to do this in their instep. Although I think it's going to be fine. But I think Omnath gives you mana to activate Soul of Windgrace's abilities. Okay, I guess I'm just going to start off with an Expressive Iteration now. But you got obviously awkward to have dressed down with Soul here. Spell Snare. That's illegal. Okay, so now if I draw a land next turn, I can Emrakul. If not, I can play the Soul of Windgrace and have Emrakul mana next turn. Mr. Beck, thank you for the tier 1. No Solitude. Yeah, we only have 5 white cards in the deck, so Solitude is like, I think, not good enough to play. You could obviously build a deck. I had a few drafts with more Solitudes, or some Solitudes and more white cards, but Solitude also a card with deck building restrictions. I guess I should shuffle because I don't want them to have the info. Obviously reduces my chance of drawing a land a little bit, but okay. I mean, I'm gonna cast the Emrakul. I think that it probably gets countered, but then hopefully I can like empty their hands. Is there tension between Windgrace and Omnath winning some lands in hand and Emrakul winning them in play? Not really. With Wrenn and Six, you just have a whole bunch of lands in hand. Or so with Wrenn and Six, you just have a bunch of lands a lot of the time. At the very least, you could just play different turns differently also. Okay, not a very exploitable hand. I do think we just have to pretty clearly Ragavan, bounce Ragavan to hand. And then I could play it so it's not being dashed, but I don't have any sorcery speed removal, right? I think I just can make them dash it. Not that it matters very much. Leyline is an instant. Leyline is an instant. I know it shouldn't. It probably shouldn't be an instant, but it is. Fury, Wrenn and Six. Oh, I do have Fury. Okay, that's definitely a reason. Yeah, I guess I should cast the monkey then. They drew Murktide for turn? Devastating. Damn it. Yeah, and exiled my Leyline that I would have drawn for the Murktide. Classic. Classic situation. See if we find another Leyline. Oh my gosh. This was deserved. I earned this. Also, any Traverse lets me cast another Emrakul here. Listen, I called the shot. You didn't think I was going to draw it? You didn't think I was going to draw it? Okay, let me see what my top card is. Windswept Teeth. Okay, so I like that I can use that to give my soul indestructible and block Ragavan here. Don't really need any extra mana. Be fine here. Alright, one good top deck deserves another, huh? Why would they not let the swing and let them clear top land? Well, after I've Bauble myself, I'm going to draw the land on their upkeep. Oh man, and then that Traverse is like it's such a big top deck because it lets me Emrakul. And then they get to Traverse for Murktide now. Dude, this Ragavan's been nuts. Cool game though, cool game. What can I say? Just need to find another Traverse or just draw the Emrakul, assuming that their mystery card is on the counterspell. This has been like the best Ragavan I've seen in like a month. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't heat. Like, I don't know why they didn't heat earlier. Okay, Traverse or Emrakul or draw a spell into those. That's what we need here. I mean, they didn't exile this iteration, so I live. Could maybe have played my fetch land. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Thank you, Ragavan. Ragavan nice to us for one turn. Now they drew Bolt! Oh man, dude, their rips were nuts this whole game. Okay. So against Murktide, I think I'm going out the Dress Downs, out 2 Furies. In 3 Flusterstorms, 1 Surgery. A Surgery just for iteration. 2 Emrakuls, I think is fine. You could play Chalice on 1, but it's like it stops like 12 of their cards and like 8 or 9 of yours. I just think it's just not that good. I'm gonna try to be fetching basics so I can Leyline Binding a Blood Moon too. Thank you, Lumbler, for the 13. Fun game though, fun game. Yeah, that Spell Snare was nasty also. Oh yeah, there's Spell Snare also gets Chalice time. But it gets counters to Chalice too. You could definitely build the deck a little bit differently though to like have Chalice on 1 post board. Yeah, we've resolved Shadow Prophecy a few times. The card is really good in the deck. The big idea is that like it fuels your graveyard really aggressively for Emrakul, and it also digs you for your Emrakul to like let you be like, you know, in on this game plan, right? Murktide has more than 12 ones. Oh yeah, no, you're right. They have way more than 12 ones. They have like 20. Yeah. You could bring it in. 20. I guess they have 21 if they have the spells. And more than that with the spell pierces. Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand though. I'm gonna go Breeding Pool, Traverse for Mountain. Yeah, Ainsword's just for mill. Just that counters Merc. I mean, it doesn't counter it because they still get the 3/3 flyer that you have to deal with. That's like also the best case scenario for Murktide, and you would also like you're a 4 of Leyline Binding deck, so Murktide as a card is not as scary anyways. Should you play Abundant Growth with Delirium Trick? I don't think there's really room, but you could. I'm just gonna jam the Wrenn. Obviously, kind of likely it gets countered, but I think this is better than doing nothing. This feels like a 60 card version of 4-color on. Why not go all in 80 cards to get access to cards like Solitude Ephemerate? I covered that in the deck tech, but you are right. It's obviously like, you know, one of these variants. I think I'm going to wait so that I can Flusterstorm a counter on my iteration, and then also get a Triome here. So the idea is that this version both gets to be good against the existing Yorion Omnath decks because of the Emrakul plan. I played the matchup last night, felt very good, while also this version gets to have a much better matchup against all of Yorion's bad matchups. Tron, Living End, all the linear decks, because your sideboard is like 10 times better, being 60 cards and having Traverse also. And also with like the extra added draw spell in Shadow Prophecy, it doesn't really. Oh no, I still need to get a blue source. I definitely need to get a blue source. Although I think I just passed back again. And so it's kind of like this. I would say this list is like a somewhat metagamey deck, but these are the driving ideas behind it. Okay, I think I'm supposed to cast Leyline Binding end of turn. Any plans to beat my trophy record for the next race? At the moment, my heart is like certainly more set on. Oh no, and I can't get my Steam Vents here. So I guess I'll just get Plains because of Blood Moon. There's my island, so I guess we pass back one more turn, huh? No endurances in the sideboard because of invasive, because of creativity, same good with Traverse. I feel like traversing for, like if I'm going to traverse for endurance, when am I traversing for endurance that I would not just want Lavinia instead, you know? But I'm not going to have like Delirium on turn 2 to get endurance for the Living In matchup very often. Yeah, but my heart is definitely more set on like, you know, more normal tournaments than the trophy race. Like a big part of the reason why I was doing the trophy race was that there weren't normal tournaments, and now they're back. Not that I'll never do it again, but That's why I'm not, you know, doing one right now. So I can get Temple Garden, cast Wrenn and Six with Leyline Binding up. That seems fine. Pick up the Windswept Teeth so I can get Forest. I'm not playing a basic Swamp, by the way. You just don't have any black fetches, so I don't think you want the Swamp. Yeah, the Tropius, I mean, the Tropius is definitely fun. There's definitely, like, worlds where I do it again, right? I'm not just, like, off of it. But I also don't, like, want to really be known as, like, the trophy race guy, you know? I'd like to, you know, have some more versatility. Yeah, it was mentally exhausting, but, it was, like, mentally exhausting in a good, like, rewarding, athletic way, or athletic in the sense of, like, pushing yourself to the limit, you know? Exhausting in a good way, for sure. Okay. Scoot the chat overlay up. Yeah. Once a year type thing. I don't know. I think it's just when I want to do it kind of thing. I think they messed up by not targeting like my different types in the yard here. Do I want a copy of Unholy Heat? I think no. I think I need to be looking for like Emrakul at this point in the game. Draw spells. Thank you, Punk, for the 60 months. I see someone playing Elves at FNM or one of the Golos decks. Kind of, I don't know. Maybe. A lot of my decks do end up in the streets of FNM though, from what I understand. Play a Channeler. That's fine too. So should be able to Fury that. I have 5 card types in the yard, so Emrakul is castable. If I draw one. Okay. Pretty good. I guess I just main phase heat this. It's kind of painful to do so. Another one. So they cast another instant of sorcery this turn. I should be able to counter it. They loot away Blood Moon, which is fine. Although Blood Moon does turn... I mean, they don't have, I guess, enough islands in play. Okay. Getting in with the Fury first. I think I want a Binding so that if they counter this, I can win the fight with Flusterstorm. Because this Flusterstorm is just getting more and more dead, right? They get a Connive, which is a problem. I think I'm also going to ping my opponent with Wrenn and Six so that I can potentially present lethal with Fury next turn. Oh, the red moved. Bertai would be a problem. I know it would be a problem, but it's like... I just don't have, like, the resources to plan for it right now, I think. And I have like, you know, plenty of outs for it also. Or some, like, mostly Emrakul at this point, I guess. Three cards in their hand. I bet they have another removal spell. I'm going to save the fetches for Omnath at this point. Don't really want to be Boseijuing them. I think I'm holding these for Soul of Windgrace also. I just don't need any more lands in play, really. You have a copy of the Wyvern Prospect deck I showed on stream. As the Storm, target cannot block. There's like YouTube, it's on Stream Decker, it's on Channel Fireball too. Older lists, but I think lists that I'd be playing something very close to them. You cannot kill your own permanents with Boseiju. Double Murktide, so I need an Emrakul. Opponent's like very likely holding up Counterspell. I think I'll just Boseiju this. They cracked the island, it's good for me, but they're just not going to. Emrakul or bust? Bust. Tough match. Obviously, gotta lose that match sometime. Okay, so this is gonna be like a bit disappointing to hear, I guess. But Fury is like a broken card, and having access to these like this 0 mana super interactive spell that is very, very powerful in a deck with like 8 really powerful draw spells. And Fury is like one of the incarnations that, while super good against decks like Hammer Time, Yawgmoth, and tribal decks, is also just like one of the incarnations that is like certainly generically good against the rest of the field too. Okay, so I think I'm getting Steam Vents here. So if they counter the Wrenn, I've got blue mana. Remandin. Prophecy, I think, is really good in the deck. You know, because like this version has like such a low curve is a big part of the reason why, but I definitely liked it a lot. Remand is also a gross card, although like if we're just on the play this game's probably much easier. I will say that the Scape Shift matchup is probably not that good game 1. We just need to like resolve Emrakul before they resolve Scape Shift, which is not going to happen all that often. Not going to happen all that often. Okay, let me see if this Wrenn resolves. Although I think I'll even Traverse for a forest, because I need to hit my land drops really badly. Leyline Binding versus Vanishing versus Pioneer. So I tried to build this deck in Pioneer, actually. And I think it's like possible. I didn't end up playtesting it, but I did start to put it in Pioneer. Binding is like, you know, better, but Verse is like much easier to cast. Why would they tap their Scalding turn here? Like they'd want the damage. Nylee's presence is good in the Pioneer decks. That's interesting to hear. I feel like I like personally kind of rate that card kind of low, but could be wrong. I guess I'm gonna go Evoke Fury, kill Dryad into Wrenn and Six Shadow Prophecy, but I'm gonna take 6 down to 4. So I'm gonna can I really Shadow Prophecy down to 1? Turtle, 31 months, thank you. Yeah, 4/3 man inbound. They could have dealt me 3 more damage and put it in, like, I would have been in certainly worse shape. Oh, wait, hold on. But they also just have... Yeah, they're just going to be able to go... Any mountain kills me with the Wrenn ping. Okay. Sideboard games get a lot better with Invasive Surgery. I'm going to bring in the extra Emrakul too, I think. Maybe this is one of the matchups that doesn't get actually that much better. Charmaw, probably not, but maybe. Flusterstorm, probably not, but maybe. I think I'm interested in cutting. Maybe I can play 1 Fury as a Traverse target. Dress Down is okay against Titan. Charmaw definitely good. I mean, it's a 5 mana Stone Rain. On the play, it's fine, maybe. I think definitely good is big time exaggeration, but could also be worth bringing in. Flusterstorm, Iteration, Scape Shift. They don't play Iteration, and like they usually can pay for Scape. They can usually pay for Scape Shift or Flusterstorm on Scape Shift. Maybe I am going to be going down on just down to 2 Emrakuls. Cut the 4th Wrenn. Maybe we'll cut the Soul of Windgrace here. Actually, seems fine. Got Wrenn and Six over Fury. I think Fury is not very good against them. At least you have like better removal. Okay, keeping this. The problem with Dryad is it's just like, I don't know, you just can't play like 3 mana enablers in Modern that are like stuck on a creature. You know, unless you're like your deck's, you can obviously if your deck's completely built around it, but like not in a fair deck like this. One's got a remand. So I guess I'm getting planes. Oh, maybe just spiral. Maybe still remand though. Shadow Prophecy. Iteration's fine, although I'm likely just walking it into remand. I think I'm still like obviously casting it here. Okay, cool. And unfortunately, just more lands on top, so like less cool, I guess. But this gives me something to Rimblum if this game comes down to that. So am I supposed to? I think I'm probably supposed to double heat this rather than use my Leyline Binding. Let's see what we draw though. Another land. Got some flood today, huh? Gonna do this in their upkeep, I think. Don't mind going to discard again. Probably discarding Traverse, actually. Okay, let's do this in response to this cycle now. Although now I'm not discarding, it's fine. I can get Delirium. Oh, I guess I already have Sorcery in the yard. Never mind, never mind. Okay, so this gives me Delirium, so I can start like traversing for Charmaws potentially. Is that the line? Ooh, they have 2 Valakuts though. So if I traverse for Charmaw, hit Valakuts. Oh, I'm casting Traverse. I think this is my plan, huh? I couldn't heat. Heat didn't give me Delirium last turn. Should you have Binding E? Oh yeah, dude, Binding on the E when they fetched. Yeah, I missed the line. That was definitely a big punt. Yeah. Oh, that would have been such a good line. Could get Omnath in the Charmaw. I think I'm 1 mana short, right? Because Omnath is mana neutral, but then the Charmaw is 6 mana with the Traverse. I think we just died Escape Shift either way. This matchup seems horrendo. Playing 4 basics, right? I'm not playing a swamp though. I'm not playing a swamp. I think I'm gonna go to 5. I think any 5 card hand with Wrenn and Six is just like better than this, yeah. This is obviously like the super nasty thing about Wrenn and Six. You just mulligan so freaking well with the card. We've cast Emrakul like 3 or 4 times today, but my opponents keep conceding to it. I think every time we've no, one time we got countered. Yeah, my opponent drew perfectly to win. It was an awesome game. Oh no! What have I become, dude? We're gonna Plague Engineer our Elves opponent. I hate this. I hate this. This hurts me more than it hurts you, opponent. And I'm on the play too. No, opponent. Can you have a little bit more? No. Oh no. Okay, that one doesn't die. Oh no, it is gonna die. Listen, did I play elves all Monday and Tuesday so that I could do this on Friday? It's definitely not what I'm saying. Gonna be able to make good use of this Yavimaya though. Should I just like not bring in the Plague Engineer? I think Plague Engineer could come in against every tribe except for elves because I just like elves too much, you know? I just like elves too much to bring it in. Now I'm gonna bring it in. Listen, maybe we lose somehow. Okay, Azuri's actually like... Oh, they can only activate it once though. What if they block? Activate block here. So let's hope that they just regen this. Yeah. Okay, white, red, green, blue. I deserve that draw. Why ping before attack? I mean, I'm just gonna like... I'm pinging until they tap out of... I guess I could have attacked first, but then I don't get the landfall trigger from the Omnath. Now you go 1, 1, 2. Okay. Could they block regen? Well, the thing is that they're just not going to block and regen, I think, when I have the Wrenn and Six in play, right? I don't know why they would. Okay, I think I'm just going to go -1 Emrakul, +1 Engineer, submit. Chalice on 1. On the draw, it's like much worse. It's bad if they have Cavern. I'm like more interested on the play, but on the draw, I think it's a little slow. I like Shadow Prophecy a lot. I think like, you know, it enables a lot of kind of like interesting, like somewhat like theory deck decisions here, where you get to play like 8 really powerful draw spells, 4 Shadow Prophecy, 4 Expressive Iteration, while maintaining a really low mana curve, and also feeling the graveyard really well for Emrakul. I'm keeping this hand to give my opponent a chance. Oh man. Notably, I would probably want to get. I guess I'm gonna go. Just Savai Triome. I need the black mana, and then I can't traverse for black mana. I didn't want to draw the binding. Obviously, I kind of need to draw something, but Flooded Strand is my one fetch that can't get Overgrown Tomb. Did Leyline push ending out of the format? No, I mean a lot of decks play both simultaneously. Ending is still a really good card. It's kind of silly to even like imagine that could happen. I think. Nice Spellskite here. Ooh, yeah, let's just stumble and lose. Can't heat. Or, you know, maybe we'll just draw a land and Plague Engineer, but we'll see. Plague into Dress Down combo. The problem is like I don't have like a blue-black Triome to get. And obviously I could have fetched a little differently to just like not try to turn through Plague Engineer, but you know, I have Plague Engineer against elves. Did we skip Traverse in order to have Dress Down up? So I feel like I've already talked about this, but I couldn't. So my Traverse, I can get Temple Garden or Breeding Pool with this Flooded Strand to cast Traverse. I don't play a basic Swamp. I don't have a basic swamp in the deck to traverse for, and so I was thinking I just wanted to. I was thinking I just wanted to instead get my black land and get my black source and hope to draw just one land to be able to cast the Plague Engineer, right? So yeah, I know. The problem is if I go traverse for any land, then like yeah, maybe it's a better line to just hope to draw the like fetch land for. I'm gonna kill this now because of. Or I guess I'll kill this on their upkeep because of Coke. No, now because of Court of Calling. Well, they might court for Heritage Druid in response. This may have been the wrong line though. May have been the wrong line. Yeah, drawing specifically the planes is so awkward here. Does Zoggoth Sacred Foundry fit the mana base? Yeah, I mean, I think you could play either Zoggoth or Ragran Triome in addition. Zoggoth is fetchable from all your basics. Ooh, they get Forged Ender. In my experience so far, though, like I was playing two Triomes at first, and I wasn't like loving drawing like the second one naturally very often, but obviously you could play it. Could you have pinged the Spellskite and done 3 damage around? Well, I could have done that, but I was thinking that like the fact that I can that like basically results in a live Spellskite and a dead Elvish Mystic and a dead War Master, which I think it would be better to just kill the Spellskite and kill the War Master by using the heat in addition, right? Doesn't seem bad to have 2 Triumphs we're playing for Wrenn because they're looping Triumph. That's true, yeah. I think that there's definitely room. These mana bases have a lot of nuance, and the reality is like we don't talk about mana bases like nearly enough on this channel, because nobody wants to talk about mana bases. Okay, I think I'm mulliganing this. Despite having the turn 2 Wrenn, we don't have the mana for it. This hand does have the mana for it. Likely gonna get a Steam Vents with this heat. I think I'm also just gonna put back the Bauble. Or although I could also get like Mardu Triome and just ping their turn 1 elf. Depends on what their turn 1 play is. If it's like Nettle Sentinel. I don't know if this was in their opening hand, but when I've been playing elves, I've actually been leading on Nettle Sentinel against Wrenn and Six decks. It depends on their hand though. Like maybe their hand wanted to still lead on the Mystic. Why wasn't Traverse for basic land at some point there? I think I sequenced wrong. I've explained like why I did what I did like 3 or 4 times now. Let's move on. Ooh, if they Magus me next turn. I used my heat already. I was thinking I wanted to not, save the binding, but saving heat for Magus may be more relevant here. Ooh, they don't have it though. No, you can't float the mana with Leyline Binding against Magus because you float the mana, then they Magus, and then you only have 1 basic land type, so the binding costs 5. Okay, so let's go Iteration. I think I'm gonna actually keep the Fury to play around Magus. I think that's like the main way I lose this game. Can also just traverse for the Plague Engineer once I find Delirium. Not like the Fury's bad at all. Although I will say, I bet in paper that happens a lot. Float mana, then Leyline Binding Blood Moon. I bet that happens all the time. I bet that is a super common line. Yeah, I'll be an SCG Dallas. I basically never miss the SCG Dallases, although I feel like a lot less excited to go to this one than I have at ones in the past with like Star City games kind of like, falling from grace somewhat. Maybe Court for Forged Ender here. Falling from grace. I don't know. It's just, you know, they laid off all their content creators and their tournaments haven't been like, you know, as exciting lately. There's like not like a invitational anymore that like their tournaments feed into. Yeah. Get Boseiju. Ooh, that's actually kind of exciting. Well, now I have Delirium. Let me get my island. Johnny, 60 months, thank you. Pioneer streams on the docket. They're on the docket. For me, I've been enjoying Pioneer a lot more in small doses. Where I've been finding the gameplay to be like pretty repetitive and like not a way that I'm enjoying a lot, but I'm enjoying it enough to like play it every once in a while. Ooh, what if I try to Emrakul? I guess I don't have enough card types, but if I ever try to Emrakul my opponent and like deck that would be so fun. Although we could theoretically lose from this position. They'd have to run super hot though. So I guess now because they have double Realm Walker, we'll just Plague Engineer. Korean Ranger does let them make 3 more mana though, because they can untap a creature, then tap 2 Heritage Druid again. They also may have a land drop to head. I can't remember. Yeah, it looks like this would effectively net them 4 mana, but obviously they have to have something on top. Yeah, for whatever reason, me and Doom just have opposite opinions about Modern Pioneer, huh? We lost to Murktide. It was a really it was definitely a interesting match. We lost to Murktide, and then we lost to Scapeshift. My Murktide opponent ran really hot game 1, but then our our Scapeshift matchup seems to be bad. Okay. Our Elves matchup seems to be good. So let's go ahead and run it back. Hello, Athena. Athena's just been opening the door lately.